Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Gershwan and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about Space Marines as we get into 40 facts about the Raven Guard. The Raven Guard is one of the original first founding chapters of the Space Marines, and was originally the 19th Space Marine Legion, before the second founding and the adoption of the Codex Astartes. From its early days, the warriors of the 19th Legion were known as cunning and patient hunters, adept at biding their time until the moment to strike was at hand. Named for Terran Avian, seen by many cultures as the Herald of Fate and the Messenger of Death, the Raven Guard have served the Emperor faithfully throughout the glories of the Unification Wars, the Great Crusade, and the dark days of the Horus Heresy. Looking back upon the calamitous age through which mankind has endured, few can claim to know but a fraction of the Emperor's vision for the galaxy. Some hold that each of the Space Marine legions was created with a specific role in mind, and certainly this assertion is born out of the deeds and demeanor of many. The Imperial Fists were in so many ways the Emperor's loyal Praetorians and champions, while the Ultramarines were his dutiful hosts. To the Raven Guard Legion would fall the role of the Emperor's hidden hand, vengeful sentinels against criminals and harrowers of those who would sooner flee than bend the knee before their new master. Drawing on the demeanor of the techno-savages from which it recruited, the Proto-Legion quickly demonstrated its skills at reconnaissance and target identification. Its ability to transition from enigmatic watchfulness to rapid attack in the blink of an eye. Confronted with the coming of the Emperor, some of the enemies of unification foolishly decided to stand and fight, to deny his manifest destiny. That was until the moment that the 19th revealed themselves as the guns already raised to the target's temple, without him ever seeing his would-be assassins approach. In the face of such infiltration, most enemies capitulated, never given to want cruelty. The Emperor's emissaries would avail the target of his impending doom and offer them the choice, kneel or die. Most chose to serve, but many refused, and so the 19th Legion would be unleashed. Emerging from the shadows, they would attack without warning, their methods enabling them to engage with forces far more numerous than themselves. Deprived of leadership after a campaign of targeted assassination, most enemy armies fell apart in short order. When they did not, the 19th Legion withdrew back into the shadows, but not in retreat. Rather, they attacked again from yet another quarter, bleeding their enemy dry and denying him any chance to counterattack, regroup, or take the initiative. How many battles were won in this shadow manner throughout the last year of the Unification Wars cannot be known for certain, for so often the 19th Legion's hand remained hidden even after the battle was won. Only much later, after the 19th Legion united with its Primarch, would it course forth into the light, but even then the Raven Guard shunned laurels or rarely courted admiration. The similarities between the Raven Guard, known to later histories of the Great Crusade, and the 19th Legion before its unification with Corax are clear, but much of the tale remains untold. It is known that the Emperor recruited the first legionnaires of the 19th Legion from a number of Old Earth regions, the majority drawn from the Zurich tribes of the Asiatic Dustfields. These savage yet technologically adept warrior people made constant war upon one another and against their neighboring tribes, with relentless fury, battling ceaselessly for possession of scant natural resources. Once brought to heel by the Emperor and his Thunder Warriors, the tribes were forced to render up their firstborn sons to the Emperor's gene forges, and upon their ascension to the new Legionis Astarte, these same sons were then used to ensure the enforcement and continual imperial compliance of their fractured kin. The Zurich warriors proved well suited to the Emperor's vision, though some observed their propensity for cruelty when ordered to attack, as well as their disdainful attitude to those they considered weak. The culture of the Zurich people demanded that a vanquished enemy be watched over with a cold, all-seeing eye, and any hint of rebellion crushed utterly, lest the subjugated rise up in strength against the victor. The 19th Legion inherited this mindset, and when coupled with the heritage of the Legionis Astartes, it became one of its most distinctive characteristics. One of the earliest unification campaigns to which the 19th Legion participated was the conquest of the Central Asiatic region, much of which was ruled by the tyrant Caligan of Ursh. Few detailed accounts survive, but it is known that the 19th Legion played their part in it in a manner that would serve as the operational template until the time it was united with its Primarch. After an initial phase in which key targets and weak elements in the armies of Ursh were identified, the 19th Legion insinuated itself throughout the region, small battle groups taking up positions from which to strike when the order was given. When the attack came, it was rapid, overwhelming, and conducted with cold, ruthless efficiency. Caligan's warlords were struck down, and the 19th Legion heralded their defeated armies into a vast prison camp at the heart of the blasted Central Asiatic region. It is said that Caligan employed all manner of Psyker-made weapons during that campaign, and that the new 19th Legion bore the brunt of many of the worst. Certainly many veterans of that age were touched by the darkness from which they never recovered, some going on to sacrifice their lives in battles and suicidal charges, while others became the solitaire formation of the Legion Mortis. Having earned itself many battle honors during the unification of Old Earth, the 19th Legion was committed to operations within the Sol system. When the Emperor's hosts encountered the Xenos presence holding sway over many void settlements of the Jovian range, the 19th Legion was tasked with scouring the moon of Lysthia. If records of previous battles are incomplete, those relating to this one are nearly non-existent. Whatever occurred on that tiny satellite, the Xenos were annihilated and victory claimed, but only at the cost of the settlers' lives as well as a large number of the 19th Legion's own. Many of the veterans of the Scouring of Lithia were recalled from service by the masters of the Emperor's Gene Forge, never to return to their legion. What horrors they endured or perhaps enacted cannot be guessed at, and certainly no similar instance of legionnaires being withdrawn from service is in the records. For decades, many of those who had served in this battle bore upon their armor the ancient Dovian rune, surmounted by the number 19 as a reminder of their victory and their loss. During the closing years of the Great Crusade, the symbol was only ever seen adorning the metal skins of the Raven Guard's dreadnoughts. Amongst their numbers was Shade Captain Voltaris, who was instrumental in the defeat of the Xenos plaguing the Jovian range. It was due to the injuries he sustained in the final battles that he was interned within the armored sarcophagus of a mighty dreadnought, and served for many more decades before his true death upon the killing grounds before Gate 42. The 19th Legion was created in the latter stage of the Unification Wars, but it would be almost 2 standard centuries before it was united with its Primarch. Conversely, the Luna Wolf's Legion was united with its sire, Horus, very early on. It was not unusual in those early campaigns for the 19th Legion to fight alongside the Luna Wolves. He who would one day bear the mantle of the Imperial War Master, coming to value the skills of the Sons of the Dustfield immensely, and the 2 legions served well together, their natural complementary. When the Luna Wolves launched their sudden and overwhelming assault, the 19th Legion were already in position, blocking off lines of retreat and cutting down any foe who attempted to escape. Those few able to break through the line were hunted down relentlessly, and captives were rounded up to be watched over by the brooding legionnaires until declared in imperial compliance. When Horus led his legion in the opening campaigns of the Great Crusade, he often requested the 19th Legion serve alongside his Luna Wolves. In those earliest days, many worlds rejected enlightenment and refused imperial compliance, and so the blade of the 19th Legion was there to strike, descending unseen almost before ordered to do so. In time, Horus came to value the 19th Legion greatly. While the ranks of the Luna Wolves swelled with recruits from his homeworld, the 19th Legion remained comparatively small. Some observed that Horus treated the 19th Legion like a chapter of his own legion, rather than one with its own identity and destiny to forge. While the Luna Wolves developed their own culture, a product of its early Terran heritage meshed with the savage gang culture of Horus's homeworld, the 19th Legion remained close to their Terran roots, their demeanor not deviating far from that of the savage Xeric tribes. Their armor remained gray, although the Legionnaires were observed to apply war paint made of Asiatic dust to their faces on the eve of battle. This, among other traditions, gave rise to the Luna Wolves bestowing several titles upon the 19th Legion, the most common of which were the Pale Nomads and the Dustclad. Aside from their tribal markings, the appearance of the 19th Legion was notable in other ways. Under the effects of the 19th Legion's gene seed, some found their skins growing unnaturally pale, while in a few, their already dark hair turned black as midnight. In small numbers, their eyes turned entirely black, lending them a fearsome aspect which suited their watchful appearance. Only later, with the coming of the Legion's Primarch, would the full impact of the features become known and take hold throughout its warriors. By the time the Raven Lord took command of his legion, the Great Crusade was over a century old. Corax was quick to impose the style of war he had perfected on his homeworld over that which had come to define the 19th Legion, melding stealth with vigilance and swiftness. To learn more about Corax, please check out our 40 facts about the Raven Guard Primarch. It was during these early years that much of the native demeanor of the old 19th Legion, particularly the more cold-blooded ways of the Xeric tribe, was purged. The Legion had so often served in oppression, repression, and occupation forces that Corax saw in some of the Terrans of the 19th Legion something akin to the slavers of his homeworld. Several of the Legion's highest-ranking officers were displaced or reassigned to non-command roles, including Lord Arcus Fahl, who had commanded his 19th Legion as its master for 3 decades before the coming of the Raven Lord. Under the Primarch's guidance, distilled into a series of battle mantras, the Raven Guard developed their skills to pre-natural levels. Corax is even known to have bested Guilliman in his brother Primarch's notorious testing Strategio Similara, making use of several unconventional troop types his brother Primarch had never seen before. During the restructuring, the 19th Legion commissioned several innovations from the Forges of Mars, all of them cunningly created to further its mastery in the art of stealth and speed. As the Thunderhawk gunships entered widespread service, the Raven Guard secured for themselves a variant known as the Shadowhawk, sporting all manners of technologies that made it invisible to all but the most sensitive of sensors. The Legion gained access to the Whisper Cutter, an open airframe flyer capable of dropping 10 Legionnaires into a war zone in utter silence, and with practically no chance of detection. Such technology was created not by the Martian Mechanicum, nor any of the Forge Worlds, but by those master artificers of Kiarva, who formerly served the tech guilds. Utilizing strands of machine cannon unknown to the mainstream of the Mechanicum, the Kiarvan Guild created all manners of systems at the request of the Raven Guard, and in time the Legion's Tech Marines were inducted into these mysteries. Although it has been speculated that the Kiarvan might have been declared outcasts by the jealous Lords of Mars, were it not for the patronage of the Legioness Astartes and the Primarch Corax. And those were 40 facts about the Raven Guard. Right now, it was just the beginning, so we're talking about the Raven Guard before they even became the Raven Guard. So of course, there's going to be a part 2, part 3. This is going to be a long series going over all the awesomeness that is Raven Guard. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get that. And please comment down below and tell me what other Space Marine chapter you guys would like to hear about. We're going to tally up all the suggestions. Don't forget to put suggestion followed by the chapter that you guys want to have discussed. It doesn't have to be a first founding chapter. It could be pretty much any chapter, as well as Trader Marines too. Just comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.